If you're listening to this alone, pause the video and check your bedroom door. Because the last person who heard this story swore. My name is Daniel, and 3 months ago, my younger brother Ethan disappeared without a trace. The police called it a runaway case, but Ethan never ran away from anything. Not even after what started happening inside our house. It began with knocking. Not at the door, inside the walls. Every night at exactly 2:13 a.m. 3 slow knocks. Thump, thump, thump. At first, we thought it was plumbing. Old houses make noises all the time. But our house wasn't old. We had only moved into it 6 weeks earlier. The first night Ethan heard it, he came into my room pale as paper. "Did you hear that?" I pulled my headphones off. "Hear what?" Then it happened again. Thump, thump, thump. It sounded like someone punching the wall from the inside. Not outside, inside. I remember both of us staring at the wall between our rooms in complete silence. Then the knocking stopped. We didn't sleep much that night. The next morning, Mom blamed pipes. Dad blamed raccoons. But Ethan looked terrified. And honestly, so was I. The second night was worse. At 2:13 a.m. exactly, thump, 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 but this time it moved. The sound traveled slowly through the walls. From Ethan's room to the hallway to mine. Like something crawling inside the house. I grabbed my phone flashlight and opened my bedroom door. The hallway was dark, completely silent. Then Ethan whispered from behind me, "Daniel." I turned. He was pointing at the wall near the staircase. The wallpaper was moving. Not shaking, moving. Like something underneath, it was slowly dragging itself upward. I froze. The bump beneath the wallpaper stopped moving for a second, then suddenly rushed upward toward the ceiling. Ethan screamed. Dad came running upstairs angry, flipping lights on everywhere. But by then, nothing was there. No movement. No sounds, nothing. Dad yelled at us for imagining things. But that night, Ethan refused to sleep alone. So he slept in my room. At exactly 2:13, we both woke up. Not because of knocking. Because someone whispered Ethan's name. Right beside the bed. Ethan, it sounded wet. Like a drowning person trying to speak underwater. We sat frozen under the blanket. Then came the scratching. From beneath the bed, slow. Deliberate, like fingernails dragging across wood. Ethan started crying quietly. I wanted to move. I wanted to run. But I physically couldn't. Then the whisper came again. Closer this time. Ethan, the scratching stopped. Complete silence filled the room. And then something grabbed the underside of the mattress. The entire bed jerked downward violently. We both screamed. Dad burst into the room again. He checked under the bed, nothing. Absolutely nothing. But Dad finally looked nervous. The next morning, Ethan told me something he hadn't told anyone else. He said every night before the knocking started, he had been seeing someone standing in the hallway, tall, too tall. Its head bent sideways against the ceiling. And it never moved. It just watched him. I asked why he didn't tell us earlier. He looked at me dead serious and said, because every time I looked away, it got closer. That sentence still makes me sick. 3 nights later, Mom and Dad left for a dinner party. It was just Ethan and me home alone. Around midnight, the power went out. Every light, every sound gone. The house became pitch black. Then came the knocking. Not in the walls this time. At Ethan's bedroom door. 3 slow knocks. Thump, thump, thump. Ethan started panicking immediately. "Don't open it." I whispered, "I'm not going to." Then a voice spoke from the other side. "Dad's voice, boys. Open the door." Ethan grabbed my arm hard enough to hurt. "That's not Dad." My stomach dropped. Because Dad had called us earlier from the restaurant. He was 40 minutes away. Then the voice changed. Mom's voice this time. "Ethan, honey, let me in." Then my voice. Perfectly copied. "Ethan, I couldn't breathe." Whatever was outside the door was mimicking us. Then came scratching. Long, deep scratches across the wood. And slowly the doorknob started turning. Ethan began sobbing. I shoved a chair under the handle. The knob twisted harder. Violently. Then came a loud slam against the door. The entire frame shook. Another slam. Then another. Dust fell from the ceiling. I thought the door would break open. Then suddenly silence. No scratching. No breathing, nothing. We waited almost 20 minutes before moving. Finally, I pulled the chair away carefully. Opened the door. The hallway was empty. But written across the wall in black letters were the words, "He let me in." The writing looked wet. Like it had been painted using mud. Or something worse. That night, Mom and Dad came home terrified after hearing what happened. Dad finally admitted something. The previous owner's son disappeared in the house 8 years earlier. They never found him. After that, the family abandoned the place. Dad said he didn't tell us because he thought it was just rumors. But Ethan looked completely broken after hearing that. Over the next week, he stopped sleeping. Stopped eating. He kept saying he could hear breathing inside the vents. One night he told me, "It wants me." I tried calming him down. But honestly, I was starting to believe him. Then came the final night. The night Ethan vanished. At 2:13 a.m., I woke to the sound of Ethan talking in the hallway, quietly. Like he was having a conversation. I opened my door. Ethan stood at the end of the hall, facing the darkness near the attic stairs. I couldn't see who he was talking to. "Ethan." I whispered. He slowly turned toward me. I'll never forget his face. His eyes looked swollen and exhausted, like he hadn't slept in weeks. Then he said something that still haunts me. It says it lived here before us. Every hair on my body stood up. Then the attic door creaked open by itself. A horrible smell drifted down. Rotting meat, wet mold, deaths. And from inside the attic came breathing, heavy, slow, human. Ethan started walking toward it. I grabbed him. He fought me harder than I'd ever felt before. "It wants to show me." He screamed it directly in my face. Then the attic light turned on. And I saw it. Something crouched upside down inside the attic. Its limbs were too long. Its skin looked gray and stretched tight over its bones. And its face, God, its face looked almost human. Except for the smile. The mouth stretched impossibly wide across its cheeks. And its eyes were completely black. It unfolded itself slowly from the ceiling like a spider. Then it spoke using Ethan's voice. "Daniel," I ran. I don't even remember pulling Ethan with me. I just remember screaming for my parents. Dad came upstairs with a baseball bat. But when we reached the hallway again, Ethan was gone. The attic was empty. No creature. No sounds, nothing. The police searched for weeks. No signs of forced entry. No fingerprints, no blood, no Ethan. Just one thing. Inside the attic wall, they found hundreds of scratches. And one sentence carved over and over again, "Don't let IT inside." That was 3 months ago. My parents moved away after that. Dad drinks constantly now. Mom barely speaks, and me. I still wake up every night at exactly 2:13 a.m. Because no matter where I go, I still hear knocking inside the walls. Thump, 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 and last night, for the first time in months, I heard Ethan's voice whisper from inside my bedroom wall. Daniel, if you're still watching, hit like and subscribe right now. Because if enough people hear this story, maybe someone will finally believe me. Then came one final knock. Directly behind my bed.